Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about these 6 puzzle pieces that you need to have a full, complete, healthy, holistic financial picture. To be able to grow your money, to be able to retire early, to be able to live the life you want, whatever, insert whatever it is that you want to do with your money and your life. These are the 6 puzzle pieces that you have to have that picture put together. This video has been triggered by watching the Netflix documentary Get Smart with Money. I watched this documentary and I really enjoyed hearing the stories of the different individuals and couples that were literally opening up to the world about their financial situations, which is a very brave thing to do in my opinion. And we had things from all across the spectrum, right? We had people that were still trying to figure out how to manage their cash flow. They were in debt, they were in mounds of debt, and they were trying to figure out how to pay down the debt, how to nix bad spending habits. There were people that were making money, that were trying to figure out how to invest the money, didn't really know much about that. There were people that were trying to do side hustles and bring extra income in because they just felt like they were just paycheck to paycheck every single month, and that's not a good feeling. There were also people that were on the path to trying to retire early. They made money, they were investing money, and they were just trying to maybe get retired quicker. So they really did a great job with touching on every single type of financial situation. The biggest problem that I hear from people, the biggest pain point is I don't know what to do with my money. I don't know where to get started with learning about what to do with my money, right? This is not taught in school as they outlined in the documentary. We're kind of forced to figure this stuff out on our own. As a certified financial planner, I created a training program that literally is the place to start with figuring out how to keep more of your money, how to get cash flow clarity, how to grow your money, how to know how much to put away for retirement, all of that. So that's why I built that. And as I'm watching the documentary, I'm like, oh my God, I built something just for you, right? And so it was kind of funny sitting there yelling at myself, yelling at the TV. Let's talk about the first puzzle piece to your full wealth master plan, as I like to call it, right? The first thing is going to be cash flow clarity. You have to have cash flow clarity, and what that means is you have to know what's coming in and what's going out. The reason for this is because you cannot build wealth without cash flow. Like literally, you can't do it. And so that's why once you get debts paid down, once you start to actually have money that you don't know what to do with it, right? That's when you have to have your cash flow pinned down to a T so that you know where it should go, right? You want to make sure that once you get that income and you take out your expenses and you have that cash, you want to put it in the right places at the right times, right? You don't want to just squander it and it's there so you spend it on random stuff. Like you want to make sure that you're very thoughtful about where you put your cash flow because that's what's going to help you grow your money. The goal is you want to maximize your cash flow, right? You want to try to increase your income if you can, and you want to try to lower your expenses if you can. You can only lower your expenses so much, which is why it's so important to learn how to increase your income. Ask for a raise, get a roommate, I don't know, drive for Uber. I don't know, right? You have to figure it out, right? And so once you have that and you know how much cash flow you have, once you take your income, you subtract your expenses, that's basically your money that you have to do things with, your cash flow. Once you figure that out, that's where the fun begins. That's where you can start saying, okay, I'm going to take some of this cash and I'm going to put some towards an emergency fund. I'm going to put some towards a vacation that I really want to take next year. I'm going to put some in my investing account. I'm going to contribute to my IRA. You work towards, it's okay to work towards multiple goals at once. That is acceptable, right? And so that's why that's the first puzzle piece, because without the cash flow, you're not growing your money. The second puzzle piece is something quite boring for a lot of people, and it's managing life's biggest risks. It's learning how to protect yourself and your family and your valuables against life's risks. Floods, fires, car accidents, slip and fall injuries, whatever it is that happens that can happen, the biggest risks out there in life, you want to make sure you're properly insured for those risks. And the reason for that is because if something really bad happens and you're not properly insured, boom, that could wipe out your emergency fund. Boom, that could wipe out, a lot of your wealth if you have to cough up a huge, a six-figure, amount for a medical bill, right? You have to make sure that you protect yourself against these very massive risks that can be very, very costly. If you're not properly insured for your car, you get in a car accident, you didn't have collision coverage on your vehicle, you end up having to shell out a bunch of money to get your car fixed, right? So, and that's if, you're at fault for the accident, of course. So a lot of people focus on life insurance, but what they don't realize is that you're more likely to become disabled than to die, statistically. So disability insurance is something that gets overlooked a lot. And if you are in a field where you highly depend on a body part, like a surgeon that has to use their hands, or a dentist, or somebody that's in construction, and if they physically are disabled, they are no longer able to work, you want to make sure that you have something in place if you need it. Remember, because insurance should only be used if you need it. Do not buy unnecessary insurance. But these are the things that you have to kind of go through the checklist and think about. So the third puzzle piece is actually getting clarity on retirement funds needed to live the life that you want, okay? I like to refer to retirement as chill-tirement. I don't believe that you have to necessarily quit what you're doing to retire. I think you can chill-tire and still maybe do something you love, if whether it earns an income or not. It's more about getting to a point in life where you can do what you want, right? And so a lot of people don't know what amount they need to be investing every single year to be able to reach that goal. And there's no one size fits all. I've seen people retire and have a comfortable retirement with a lot less than others, right? So you have to know your lifestyle. You have to know what kind of lifestyle you want to live in retirement. And you may not know that right now. That's okay, but just take the lifestyle you have now and use those numbers to start doing the analysis on what you need when you retire. So basically, if you spend $50,000 a year to live today, maybe you don't know what you want in retirement, but you can at least take that $50,000 baseline and kind of make some assumptions. Okay, I'll have a house paid off in retirement. I won't have a house paid off in retirement. I'm going to need X amount based on how I live today. And then you use a retirement calculator and you put all of the information in. I teach how to do this in my Wealth Master Plan training program, actually step by step, because you have to adjust for inflation. You have to know what kind of investment return that you're going to get. So it's not completely straightforward for a lot of people. But there are ways to do this online very easily. I actually found a retirement calculator that I really love that I will link in the show notes that you can play with. But essentially, you have to figure this out now, because if you go another 10, 20 years and you don't, and you look back and you're like, crap, I should have been doing more planning, and now I'm going into retirement and I don't have what I need, you don't want to be in that situation. So your future self will thank you by taking this puzzle piece seriously now, even if you're young, and do the math. I know math is hard, but that's why we have these online calculators now to help us, right? And try to get a feel for how much you need to be saving, and technically you need to be investing it, right? I delineate between saving and investing. So figure out how much you need to be investing every single year or every single month if you want to break it down monthly, so that you can actually have a healthy retirement income. And if you are interested in kind of seeing me talk through this process more, I did an interview with one of my Wealth Master Plan students, and we actually went through her specific situation, and I showed the retirement calculator and I showed how I used it and everything. So it might give you some insight if you're a little bit confused on what to do here. Okay, so the fourth puzzle piece is going to be optimizing your investing. Okay, investing is how you actually grow your money. Investing is how you actually keep your purchasing power and don't lose your purchasing power to inflation. Investing is so important. You can't really do anything without investing in some capacity. So you want to learn how to do it. If you already know how to do it, but you want to do it better, great. If you are just starting out and you have no clue what you're doing, please understand that this stuff is very learnable. And this is really my main takeaway with investing. You need to not overcomplicate things. Don't get too cute with using options and getting fancy with trading stocks and stuff right away, okay? Learn the basics, learn how to invest for the long term in a passive portfolio of ETFs or mutual funds or whatever, whichever one you want. ETFs are pretty popular these days and very cheap. And then once you get a feel for that and you get your money invested passively, then you can start taking a bucket of money that you can afford to lose and start maybe investing actively, picking stocks, trading, whatever it is that you want to do. But don't go full on that without focusing on the long-term side first. That's my advice. And the reason for that is because you want more time for your long-term money to be compounding for you, right? So the longer it is in the market, the better. And that's why I say focus on that long-term strategy first, and then you can move to the fun stuff after. Okay, the fifth puzzle piece is strategizing your taxes. Oh my goodness. I am a tax nerd, I admit it, but everybody should be a tax nerd. And the reason for that is because that's another huge piece of how much wealth you're going to build by doing it tax efficiently, right? You want to save taxes on your income wherever you can. You want to save taxes in retirement when you pull money for your living expenses, right? You want to save taxes all throughout your life. You don't want to just think about now, you want to think about later as well. You want to strategize properly, put investments in the right types of accounts for tax purposes. There's a method to the madness here, okay? And it excites me because it's like, besides investing is my favorite topic. Taxes is that's my second favorite topic, right? Saving on taxes, strategizing taxes for now and for later. And the other thing is you have to understand how your taxes are calculated. And it's not that difficult of a calculation, I promise. I teach it in my Wealth Master Plan training. I go step by step, line by line, guide you through it. I've had people that are like, wow, I never thought I'd ever learn this. I can't believe that I know this now, right? It's not that hard. Somebody just has to break it down the right way to help you understand, because that is what's going to help you not only strategize throughout the year properly. Before talking to your CPA, you'll already know things that you need to be talking to them about because you will have learned it, right? And then two, when it comes to getting your tax return and working with CPA, you can catch errors. Yes, you heard me right. CPAs make errors, whether that's their fault or your fault because you gave them the wrong information. That's neither here nor there. The point is there can be errors on a tax return. CPAs make errors all of the time. I've seen it many times. And you want to be the person that can catch it and say, hey, what about this? This doesn't look right. Can you check this, right? And that is an important skill to have. Taxes are your biggest expense next to your housing, okay? It may even be more depending on where you live. I don't know. Maybe you got a deal on a home in 2008 and housing's not that expensive. But taxes are right up there, right, as something that takes a huge chunk out of your income. So why wouldn't you want to understand taxes a little bit better, how they're calculated, how to save on them, how to strategize? I think that is an essential thing for anybody that's wanting to take more control over their financial lives. Okay, the last puzzle piece is you've worked really, really hard and you need to protect everything you've built. That's where estate planning comes in, right? That's where making sure you have a will or a living trust, okay? If you don't want to go through the probate process, which is basically a court process where when someone passes, the courts decide, or the courts read the will and make the decisions based on the will, or they make decisions based on just their thoughts, right? What the judge thinks, how the judge thinks the assets should pass if there is no will. So you can avoid that with something like a living trust. You can avoid that with things like setting a beneficiary on your account, brokerage accounts, checking accounts. You can set a payable on death beneficiary on checking accounts. Like literally today, you could go check your brokerage account, check your beneficiary, and if there isn't one, add one. If you have a high yield savings account, go check, make sure there's a beneficiary. And beneficiaries are basically the most ironclad thing you can do. The beneficiary trumps everything. So if there's a beneficiary on something, then that's good. That's what you want. So go check your beneficiaries, make sure it's not your ex-wife, your ex-lover, whatever. Make sure it's someone who you actually want to get your assets. And it goes way beyond just your assets, right? It goes down to who is going to take care of your children. It goes down to who can get your medical information or handle your affairs for you if you become incapacitated. I mean, the list goes on and on. So it's really important to plan for these things. And you do not, I repeat, you do not have to be wealthy, super wealthy or rich to do estate planning, period. All right, so to recap, the 6 puzzle pieces to a fully set, ironclad, bulletproof financial life. 1, cash flow clarity, right? You want to get clarity on what your cash flow is, where it's going, how it's going to work the hardest for you. I know way too many people that do not track their income and expenses and all of that, and they have no idea what's going on in their financial lives. Not good. Don't do that. 2 is going to be protecting yourself against the biggest risks in life with proper insurance planning. Don't buy insurance that you don't need. 3, planning for retirement, knowing how much to put away every single month, every single year to reach your goals. If you don't know what your goals are, you're still going to need money. It doesn't matter, right? Still plan to do something. 4, optimizing your investments, getting invested, making sure your investments are properly structured for your risk tolerance, etc., etc. Investing is the absolute key to reaching your money goals and being able to live a healthy retirement. Okay, you gotta invest. So learn how to do it and learn how to do it right. 5, strategize your taxes. Learn how taxes are calculated. Learn about taxes. I know it's boring and it's math and it sucks, but I promise you, once you learn it and you understand it and you figure out ways to save on taxes, you'll become just as addicted to tax strategy as I am. And 6, protect everything you've worked so hard for and do some estate planning. You don't have to be rich to do estate planning, and it goes way beyond just your things, okay, and your money. It goes into who's going to take care of your children, who's going to take care of your affairs if something happens to you. It goes way beyond just stuff, okay? So be sure to get with an estate attorney if you need to, but something that's really easy to do right now is go check your beneficiaries on all of your accounts. Make sure everything is set the way you want it to be. And your estate attorney can help you figure out if you just need a will or if maybe you need to do a living trust, and they can get you set. All right, everybody, I hope you found this video helpful. Please like and subscribe if you're not. Tell me in the comments what you think. What stuff are you looking to get a little bit more savvy about in terms of the 6 puzzle pieces? What do you need to learn more on? Maybe I can help you and give you a reply with some tips. I'll see you in the next video.